Yeah. And I'm going to say, fuck you live.
You just did.
Now, everybody ignore Zane. He's going to cut out anyway, so don't worry about it.
And when he cuts out, he's going to cuss out. So Mr. Potty Mouth is back this week.
No, I'm going to use fucking foul-ass language. I don't even care. Like, whatever.
Good thing we haven't started. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, dear God. Here we go again.
Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 242. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing the MagPump review, some Glock slides, a suppressor, and maybe some other stuff. Tonight on the podcast, we have the typical useless people of Rob, then Zane, and then Tony. So, what did you guys do in firearms this week?
Well, since I'm the only one who's not muted, let's see. We had that little tropical storm go through Florida, so I didn't do nothing outside this weekend. It was a really good weekend to do either to get drunk and crash on the couch or to do house chores. So I didn't do house chores. No, I didn't do anything this weekend because it rained all weekend. It rained the whole bloody weekend.
Tony, you're not muted.
Yeah, I'm not muted. I was just laughing because poor Rob got drunk until he passed out and waited for someone to take advantage of him, and no one did.
My girlfriend left me a couple months ago, so I'm by myself.
Oh, he's just drunk, passed out on the couch, laying on his belly, and nobody came and touched him. Here we go. What I did was take my CZ455 Ultralux out, bolt action, and just checked out how it shot. I had the front sight was really loose on it, and that happened a while ago, and I haven't shot it. So I took it out, and I had a few different kinds of ammo, put it at 25 yards. The target and proceeded to shoot a small rat hole about the size of a dime into the target almost every time with some CCI. And then when I put in some Federal, it opened up to like 2 inches. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously it doesn't like Federal. The expensive gun likes the more expensive ammo. But I want to take a, what do you call that, Appleseed? I want to go to an Appleseed shoot and take that with me. So if I go to the range tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing is shooting 1-inch targets at 25 yards, standing, kneeling. Nah, probably not kneeling, but standing definitely, and maybe some prone, just to see if I can nail that target like you do at the Appleseed.
Nice. Zane.
I'm here. Let's see, what did I do? I went and shot. I did a little bit of shooting. I shot my favorite dot torture drill at 5 yards this time, and I shot it with both my Glock 19, and I also, just for funsies, shot it with my my PCP, my little 9mm AR atrocity thing, just to see, because I've been having issues with it, and I actually finally cleaned it. And it turns out the gun works just fine so long as it's clean, which is kind of a problem for me because I don't like clean guns. But yeah, so I shot that at 5 yards. I shot a 50 out of 50 with the 9mm AR and a 48 out of 50 with the Glock 19. So, and I did something else, but I can't remember what it was, so it's probably not important.
Probably. It was probably something like Rob did, drank beer and passed out.
And then
I've
been playing with my internet, and apparently it hates me. No, I wasn't, Tony. I'm going to be on This Week in Guns spoiler alert tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and since I'll go now, Tony and I were on the Loose Rounds episode of the AR-15 podcast last Wednesday, was it? And
yep, last Wednesday.
I think it released today, so if you want to go hear us basically talk about stuff that we talk about anyway, go check them out. We kind of had to take over the show because, we lost JD, their host. Reed didn't know what he was doing or something like that. I don't know.
we actually took over another podcast show while on their podcast.
But it was a lot of fun. That's about the only thing I did in guns,
Nice.
besides write a review, and we'll get to that here in a minute. So I guess, as normal, our bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. And the new patch of the month is the September one is the Always Vigilant, Lady Liberty with her 1911 and suppressor and nods and that kind of stuff. So join the patch of the month. Doesn't look like they have any pre-orders, so you don't have to worry about ordering anything. If you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to shop Black Bag Resources to donate stuff to Tony's Diversity Shoot, use the code 2A4E, and anything in your basket, shopping cart, whatever it is, will be donated to Tony.
Yay.
Go, Tony. Yay. And the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official position or policy of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows, and especially when Zane is having his internet cut out. And now for the main topic, Chad's going to talk about a MagPump loader. Okay, go Chad.
Hey, I didn't name this thing, so I got to give it that much credit.
Oh God, yes.
If you shoot a lot, which I think most of us, except maybe Rob, because he stays in, everybody wants a magazine loader that kind of works well. MagPump made this nifty little. They have an AR-15 loader that's been out for a while, but they have their new 9mm loader, and it's cool in some respects. You can just dump the ammo in and then stick the magazine in. But of course, when I first got it, I had to assemble it, which is super difficult. You basically have to pick which magazine adapter you want and pull the two pins, put the hopper on the bottom piece, and slide the pins back in. Of course, the first one I selected was the Glock adapter because why not? Actually, I wasn't able to try all of these out because I didn't have everything. But it does come with adapters for Glock mags, Sig mags, Smith & Wesson, Springfield, Zane's favorite, a CZ, and Ruger magazines. They also make a bunch of other adapters that they have on their website if one of those will not work for you.
Don't wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Hey, got to go fast. And so basically the magazine adapter is kind of flexible, and it's got little two raised parts. You have to squeeze those together, kind of slide it into the MagPump base, which works well. Then you take your magazine face down, or the way you would load it down. And what I did is if you kind of stick it in at like a 45-degree angle, then kind of push down, you'll feel the catch kind of move in, and then you slide the whole thing in, and it'll lock in it'll click lock in. If you can pull it back out, it's not locked in. There is also a little like trigger mechanism for when the magazine's loaded and you want to unlock it, which it works well once you get used to it. So after you do that, you dump rounds in the hopper, and as we say, you start pumping the handle. Hey, it seems to work. I would say it's more for high volume loading. Because of the size, it's not something you're going to throw in your range bag. It does come with a base that can be mounted on your tabletop workbench. The base is basically a Picatinny rail, and so you can mount the MagPump on any Picatinny rail that's long enough with the two thumb screws that clamp it on there. I don't know why you would, but maybe you want to. It's pretty stable once you mount it up. In the review, there's a short video of me loading a magazine. You can see I'm holding the base just because it wasn't mounted down. I could also see like a range or something, maybe having some of these for their, patrons to use. Might be kind of easy if the patrons wouldn't break them, which you never know with people. All the MagPumps use the same Picatinny mounting base. So if you have limited space, and more than one loader, you can just undo them and easily swap them onto this other base. The hopper system's pretty cool. You literally can just dump a box of 50 rounds into it. It only holds 50 rounds. I would really like it to hold more, but hey, 50 is better than none, or loading it with your thumb. There's also a little spring-loaded latch on the hopper. When you're cycling it, you can move it, and it'll help load the rounds into the feed slot. It works sometimes. I didn't seem to really need to use it very often. Most of the time, just running the handle up and down will get the rounds to drop in. And when they drop in, it has a mechanism inside that flips them to the proper direction. But it does not care for hollow points or flat points, at least when I used it. It does work fine with your full metal jacket round nose bullets. MagPump on their website does state that it is optimized for the full metal jacket round nose bullets. So it didn't really surprise me, but I think what happens is the flat or the hollow point kind of hit the little flip mechanism that flips them the right way and kind of gets stuck. I loaded thousands of rounds with this thing into magazines. The pump handle feels a little flimsy, but I haven't broke it. Even when I tried to force it, like if it would kind of feel like it was jamming up, it didn't break. So I can say that. It just feels a little flimsy. It does take a few tries to get used to the hang of it, but that's kind of a lot of things. It's super easy to use once you get the hang of it. I didn't have any problem loading up 33 round magazines or 10 round magazines. It didn't seem to matter. So if you're looking for a bench style magazine loader, if you can find one of these to try it out, see if you like it. I'm still trying to figure out how to put a motor on it. So all I have to do is flip a button, but that'll come later. So we'll get into the Firearms Insider 8 key points. The claim to fame: it is an easy, fast magazine loader. Target market is people who want easy loading of magazines. The features and benefits: it is a fast magazine loader. It does have the Picatinny mounting. It is bench mountable. It has a 50 round hopper, and it does come with those 6 different magazine retainers, with others available. They do make an elite loader, and the price of it is like $500 more than the standard one, and it is all aluminum, and also comes with a aluminum handle and such. There's a thing on what others are saying. There is another review from a pistol forum that somebody did. The price point, the MSRP on it is $149.99. I did find them on Amazon for $124.95. So if you need it now, MagPump or Amazon. Our rating: the pros, I gave it the hopper system, the mountable base, the ease of use, the multiple magazine adapters, and it does load magazines quickly. The cons: it doesn't work well with the hollow points or flat points. The hopper only holds 50 rounds, and the handle does feel flimsy. So I gave it a rating of 7, which is good. I think another con is maybe the price. It's not something you just go and spend $20-$30 on. It's something you actually have to want. So you guys got any questions on this thing?
Yeah, why didn't we just, save time and watch Sean's video that he made around February about this? Because he sells them at blackbagresources.com.
Because he did not do a review on it.
So
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a legitimate question.
Yeah, unlike Tony's.
Yeah, unlike Tony, I have a legitimate question. Is this is this seriously worth it? Because I don't even use the loaders that come with the Glock. I just load magazines.
He doesn't even use the loader that comes with a Springfield XD.
I do not own a Springfield XD, and I hate you. But no, seriously, it's not hard to load magazines. It's not hard.
And that's the
thing. I have 8 magazines loaded right now in the closet.
There's a reason I gave it a 7 and not something higher. And I mean, it works pretty much as advertised for me anyway. So, it's not like the thing's terrible, but in your case, yes. I mean, I loaded up a bunch of mags for my pistol caliber carbine a lot of times, before I went to the range.
I mean, I've loaded the 33 round stick mags like it's cool, and it's
I know it does save time if you have it set up and you're ready for it. But I'm with you. I'm always like, oh, I'm going to go to the range and throw everything in the bag, and then I get there and have to load magazines.
Oh, see, no. I have all my mags loaded. If I want to go to the range, how many rounds am I going to shoot? Oh, I'm going to shoot 500 rounds. Well, I only put 8 magazines in the frickin' or whatever the math works out to be. I don't math so well.
Yeah.
I like your point about might be nice for a range, probably more like a private range, like a gun tree club or something.
Right.
For people to use. But I just don't see unless you're even if you're a competition loader, I don't see it. I don't see it.
It makes no difference how much or how little you pay for range fees, whether it's a private country club or a public. They're going to break your stuff.
Yeah, people are going to break your stuff.
The other thing is, in Jersey, it's illegal.
Or not? I don't remember pre-show if we decided.
The answer is no. The answer is no. We also, in Jersey, it's illegal for me to have loaded mags going back and forth to the range. So I'd understand, especially if you're going to shoot a competition or something, you know what I mean, where you're going to have a lot of loaded mags and you want to get them loaded as quickly as possible. I get it. I get why you want to load them quickly. But again, when it comes to cost versus where am I going to find a flat surface to sit down and do all this while getting ready, you just load them yourself. But hey, listen, kudos. I don't see it not being able to use to function well with hollow points as being a bad thing because no one loads that many hollow points up. If your self-defense shooting takes 500 rounds, dude, you're not in a self-defense shooting. You're in a shootout.
No, I'm going to disagree because sometimes when you buy ammo by bulk bullets, sometimes they have the 115 grain hollow points on sale, so they're cheaper than the round nose.
Okay.
And the last 500 bullets I had were 115 grain hollow points.
So how many mags did you load up for self-defense?
No, I just use them as range
you mean
ammo.
Just shooting it at the range? Oh, okay.
Because
I
they're
didn't know
cheaper.
that.
Because it's the bullets themselves are cheaper than loading up regular bullets.
Yeah, these crazy hand loaders,
okay.
So
you stick it in your Dillon and you pull the handle and ammo comes out.
What did you
Whoa, what are we talking about?
Stick it in your what?
And do the what with the what? Man, let's move right along. We're done with this.
Okay.
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
I guess you just have to determine if this thing is if it's worth $150 to have the super loader.
And that's really a personal preference.
I would think if you and 4 or 5 buddies who shoot USPSA or IDPA or something, and you guys shoot every weekend, you want to throw down to go in on this and meet before your match and load mags, I think it's totally worth it. But for the average individual person who just wants to go to the range and plink, no, I'm gonna.
This is where I would agree with saying, if I know I'm going range on Saturday, Thursday night, I'm gonna sit around. I'm gonna watch TV and load magazines while I'm, getting ready to go to the range.
Exactly. You can literally load mags while you're watching television.
And
I do it all the time.
I agree with both of you guys. I mean, there it is. I mean, had they not sent me one for review, I probably wouldn't buy one. So
I mean, I don't think it's a bad product. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I think it's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I haven't played with it, so I can't say it's good or bad. But I don't think it's like stupid. But I don't think it's for the average person. I think it's for a special breed.
Right, and
Tony's a special breed. Maybe Tony wants one.
We'll see, but he can carry loaded mags. So
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. I saw this at NRA last year, and it did not impress. I saw the one they made for the AR-15, and it didn't impress me. And then I saw it again at a local gun store, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
I wish you could buy loaded mags, like when you order your 10-pack of, like when you order your 10-pack of PMags. You know, like when you order your 10-pack of PMags, because I need some more PMags, so you just order 10 of them. I wish they would just send them to you loaded.
I have seen somewhere.
Well, like you say, your mags are only good once. Once they're empty, you got to throw them away, right?
Yeah, just send them to me. I'll get
nice callback. Nice callback.
I have actually seen places advertise like a 10-pack of loaded magazines.
Dude, I'd do that. I'd buy that as long as it's not outrageously expensive.
No, and they were basically, I guess, they loaded them somehow, but they were like a 10-pack of PMags, so you get 300 rounds.
Dude, I still have the old school, and this is for 5.56, not 9mm, but I still have the old school, little taper thing that, slides on the back of the aluminum mags, and then you slide the stripper clip in, and you just, slam it against your chest.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I still have 20 of those things bouncing around here somewhere. Tony probably has a bunch of those too.
I got a bunch of those.
Yeah, don't even need them anymore. We can only do 10 rounds in a mag in Jersey.
That's right, because Jersey is gay.
That's right.
No. Just voters don't come out. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Not that there's anything
Let
wrong with being gay. I should clarify that.
We're gonna get into the product spotlight and discussion now that you guys are gone off on
something else we can't have. Something else we can't have. Let's talk about that.
I may have said that in I don't know, Instagram post or something.
Yeah. Haterade.
I know. Somebody had to. First up is the Whip Machine Canuter Valve Suppressor. Yes, you heard it. Canuter Valve. With an MSRP of $260. Yeah, $260. Okay, this is their new suppressor. Basically, they wanted to make a 223-556 suppressor that you could get for under $500 with your tax stamp. Well, they succeeded, and it's a threaded suppressor, half 28. Here's the one thing that's kind of iffy, but it's small, cheap, so I can deal with it. It's 136 decibels at the shooter's ear. So it's not super quiet. It does only weigh 8.4 ounces, so a half pound. It is only 3.9 inches long, so after you screw it on your barrel, it only adds 3.2 inches. So if you got a 16-inch barrel, it's now 19 inches, which is pretty cool. It's 1 1/8 inch diameter, so it's not super huge. It says there's no blowback through the charging handle. That remains to be seen. It is 416 stainless steel. It is full auto rated on 7-inch and longer barrels, which again is kind of a cool thing. It has a flash hider machine to the end of the suppressor. I guess if you want, you can get custom serial numbers available upon request. So of course you can get it in polished, black Cerakoted, or FDE Cerakote. I saw this thing and I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't care if it's not super hearing safe. I mean, what do they say? 140 decibels or something or less. So it's going to cut it down. If you're outside, it's probably, as the sound moves away from you, it's going to be better. Short, light, $260. Heck, I'd buy one. Full auto rated. I don't know if it comes apart. That's all I don't know.
My problem is it says it's 136 decibel at the shooter's ear, so that's not going to change. Now, why did I wait? Because the wait time is still going to be the same.
Oh, yeah.
So the wait time is a year. for a $500 suppressor that doesn't suppress. Yeah. No.
Well,
No, it's about 140.
it does suppress.
160
Yeah,
is
okay.
the normal decibel rating
Yeah.
for unsuppressed.
So
No,
I guess
yeah.
they're saying that the magic number is 140 for OSHA, but realistically, anything above 120 is still going to cause hearing damage.
Well, and with that, they do specify at the shooter's ear, which I like that. I like the fact that that's where they're measuring from, because I don't care what it does at the muzzle. I don't care what it does in front of the muzzle. I don't care what it does to the side. I care what it does to my ear. So at 136, yeah, it's loud, but it is, according to OSHA, hearing safe, which is
right for
kind
1
of
second or something.
a thing.
Yeah.
It's small. It's not super tiny, but it's not huge. And I like that. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I don't have a can, and I don't foresee me getting one in the near future because I have other things I want more. But I'd be willing to check it out. I mean, I'm not completely turned off immediately by it. Put it that way.
And this right here is, I'm not. I'm like, nah, heck, really, for the price, I'd really love to hear one, and because as we know, the decibel rating, it could be a low pitch, a high pitch, and people view those differently as to what bothers their ears. So, like to hear one, but like if we could get not the Hearing Protection Act, but if we could get something where even you paid the $200 at your store for the suppressor and filled out the paperwork, something like this would be a big hit, because then somebody could go in, $460. That's cost us some handguns, but and walk out with it.
I'm going to disagree with you. That's my biggest thing. That's the only reason I don't have a single NFA item, is because taxation is theft, and I'm not doing that. I'm not playing the game. Someone needs to figure out like a pistol brace version of a can.
There's no way to get around the silencer.
Like, I know there's no way to get around it because of how they define it, but I'm just like, no, I'm not giving the federal government money to ask permission if I can own a thing that reduces noise. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not playing that game. And I want cans, and I want SBRs, and I want SBS.
It's your right to do that, Zane, but some of us do like the idea of having suppressors. And
yeah, but it's not the government's right to get our money. Like, boy, I'm telling you, the internet has me in a mood. It's got me in a mood.
I understand what Zane's talking about, but really it has nothing to do with this. Because it's going to be a $200 tax stamp. I agree with Zane, by the way. I think it's ridiculous. Actually, I think it was mean-spirited and disingenuous when it was passed. But talking about this thing, it's inexpensive. It says it doesn't have the blowback. It makes some promises. You guys say it's hearing safe, but I've heard some stuff, and you're right, the pitch. So what does this sound like? Because, again, I'm still waiting the same amount of time for the paperwork to go through on this as I'm waiting on the paperwork to go through on something that may be better.
My question is to...
And here's the other thing. Well, and here's the other thing that I'll offer to you. If I buy this can, or if I buy the best, most quietest, greatest thing in the world, the tax is still $200. So in my mind, like, when it comes to the price of cans, like I'm a lot less picky with that. Like, because if I'm going to buy a suppressor, and if the tax is going to be the same, well, I might as well make sure and get the one I want. I'm not going to, like, with other things, I'm all about being cheap. I'm about being cheap, but like, I know I got to spend the $200 anyway, so it's like, well, if I buy the $250 can, I got to spend $200 extra. Or if I buy the $1,000 can that offers X, Y, and Z much better, I still got to pay the same $200. So I don't know that the price is, and I hate that. I don't like that, because I love capitalism and I love the free market. But I just feel like if I'm gonna spend money on a can, like I'm gonna do a lot of research and I'm gonna make sure it's the one I want, because if I gotta fork over that money to the government, I'm only gonna do it once. You know, I'm not gonna. Oh well,
Right.
this one wasn't the one exactly I wanted. I can, you know.
Well,
so,
here's the other thing too: is when we're talking about the cans and the taxes and stuff, this is only rated for 5.56. And if I'm going to get a can like this, I prefer to get one that's 30 caliber rated, so you can use it on 308, 300 blackout, more than just 5.56.
And you know what? I agree with you, Rob. I really do, but like with me, I don't have anything that's 30 caliber. Like, and I really don't care. I finally got rid of. Actually, that's not true. I have a Mosin gun, but it's not threaded. So there's that. Yet. Like I got rid of my 270. Like I literally have 5.56. So I don't have a problem with a 5.56 only can. And I know there's a lot of folks out there like me who don't. And I totally get where you're coming from. Like if you have a 300 blackout and a 308 and a 5.56, well, you want one can to rule them all. Totally tracking. But I don't know.
I love it. That Zane's problem is the $200 tax stamp, and my problem is the year. My problem is this though: the year wait for something that might suck, and is only good for one caliber.
Yeah, that's part of it too. You wait for a year, and it finally comes in. It's in. I almost said Facebook jail. It's in NFA jail. I'm used to being there too. It's in NFA jail for so long, and you get to go visit it, have your little conjugal visits if your range allows, and then you finally get it, and it's like, oh, this thing sucks.
Well, see, and that's one of the reasons why I would really like to hear it first, because if you have a dealer, a lot of dealers have a lot of samples if they're a bigger dealer, so you can hear them, and they'll like hook you up with stuff to be like, okay, this is what this sounds like, stuff like that, where I'm not saying just go buy it blind because it's this price. I would definitely try it out first. And
I'm seriously considering getting a FFL and a SOT just for purposes, things like this. Well, not just for. Obviously, I'd be in the business for making a profit for buying and selling firearms, obviously, because that's why you would get those. But as a benefit for things like this, when these come around, I can, you know what? Send me that. Drop $200, have it come straight here, play with it, and yep, it's good to go. Or nah, fam, ain't working. So
yeah, and exactly, and that's kind of one of the things too. So I guess we'll get into something else now, since we like and dislike this thing. It's kind of, we want to hear it. All suppressors.
We just want to get rid of the NFA so we just walk down there and buy it like a regular gun.
Yeah, you and probably everybody that listens to this.
You mean just buy it like the accessory that it is? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
No, not at all. So next up, we have the Freedom Flag Products XC9 slides. And what these are is they are a slide. You can also get the barrel option. And I'll explain. They're between $400 and $640. What they are is they are a Glock 17 slide length that will work on a 19 frame. But they take a special barrel because, of course, the 17 barrels will not work.
So like I said earlier, the market will provide. Remember when Glock made the 19X and everyone was like, oh, they did it backwards. You guys are stupid.
The market
provides.
And I don't think they're the only ones doing stuff like this.
No, Brownells has one branded.
Exactly.
Brownell.
9L. It's called the 9L.
Yeah, and you get these, and you can get it in black, smoke gray, or FDE just as normal. They have a couple different cuts you can get. You'll check out the show notes or go to their website. Their options are, you can get it. They have an option with the KKM barrels, which are nice barrels. You can get a standard barrel for 175 extra, so you're at 575, or the threaded barrel for 240. That's where the 640 comes in. But yeah, like Zane was saying the market will provide. These are exactly what kind of the people were asking for. It does not come with sights, parts, stuff like that.
How you?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. How are they going to do this and not have some with RMR cuts in it?
Oh, I think you can get RMR cuts. They just don't list it.
What is the price on this? I missed it when you said it.
It's
$400.
So let me ask
without
you
the barrel.
So let me just
Uh-huh.
let me brainstorm here.
Okay, I'm with you.
My thing is I like the idea of a cut down gun. I got no problem with a 17 with a 19 mag in it.
Right.
Or even what I actually would prefer to have, which I might end up doing, is a 19 with a 26.
Well, why don't you go with a 17 and cut it down to a 26?
Wait a minute, a 19 with a 26 slide or magazine?
No, magazine size. 26 magazine size, because the 19 has a rail, so you can put a light on it, and honestly, it's easy to hide things that are in your pants. Hey. But it's a lot. It's giggity. It's a lot hard.
Zane's got lots of extra space.
Right. It's a lot harder to hide the actual grip.
Yeah, Zane probably a ton of extra space.
Well, that was everyone's bitch about the 19X was, oh, they did it backwards, and we've talked about on the show and why the 19X makes sense. And
well, you got to buy a Glock 19 and take a bandsaw to the darn thing.
Well, and that was my thing. That's my question. So. Can I buy this slide for $400, or can I buy my 17? And if I'm going to have all these cuts and stuff put into it anyways, send it to a company. Am I going to come out better and be like, hey, can you grip chop it also while you're already going to do the stippling and the undercut and the scallop on the mag release and, the front serrations and the RMR cut and all that? I'm thinking you're probably going to come out cheaper just having a company do it to your 17 than to buy this slide for your 19. I could be wrong. I don't know. And if maybe you don't want, maybe you're like Rob and you don't like the really aggressive stippling on your gun. So in that case, it may work. But me personally, I don't like the stock grip on a Glock anyway, so I'm going to send it off and have someone put a really aggressive texture on it and take the damn finger grooves off if it's not a Gen 5, because finger grooves are stupid.
Right.
Or why don't you just get that one Glock that you can build the darn thing yourself out, where you the 80% lower.
Well, I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why, Rob, because I don't want to build a gun that I'm going to depend my life on, because I'm not a gunsmith. And I know a lot of dudes are like, oh, well, it's just as good. That's cool, bro. I don't know. I'm going to trust my life to professionals that build guns for a living and not my own, bubba-ing. So there's that.
Yeah, you'd rather pay somebody else for their bubba-ing.
Well...
cut my slide down, grind off my finger groove, and re-stipple it. Yeah, you're going to pay somebody else to bubble it.
Well, I mean, there's some dudes out there that are reputable. It's like I can do it myself, sure. Like, I can do it, and I have stippled a gun. And one of the guns I carry, I've stippled myself. But I'm just,
I just wanted to point out the Glock engineers aren't cutting them down, undercutting them, and stippling them. You're still getting a Bubba to do it. It's just Bubba's getting paid more. He called Earl now.
I was more referring to the 80%, part of that comment when it comes to Bubba-ing.
And I was gonna say, I think it's a good idea, and I think there's a market for it. I know Zane's not the market for it. People who like to actually build guns, like you said, with like the Polymer 80 market and those style, they may want this. Is the price going to be the same as if you went out and did something? I have no idea, but that's something that if you were going to do it, you would price out all the parts and be like, oh yeah, it's cheaper for me to do this, or I can get more of what I want with this slide than buying something else.
This is a lot of coin, man.
I look at this as I can buy a police trade-in Glock for less money and just cut the grip down myself.
And then who cares about it at that point, right?
I'm just saying, for $325, I can get a police trade-in.
And the other thing is, like, I don't really understand nearly as much why people cut down 17s to 19 length as they do 19 to 26 length. Because, I mean, and I guess that's because I carry with a light. I should mention that. So whether I'm carrying the 17 or the 19, I have the light on it. So the length is the same. Like, the length is the same. So
yeah, because the light sticks
right,
past
because the
barrel
light sticks past. So that doesn't matter. I do understand this concept when it comes to 19 to 26 because the 26 doesn't have a rail. So I understand the concept there. But yeah, I know a lot of dudes love a cut down 17, and trust me, I get it because especially with appendix carry, the longer barrel length carry better. And I know if people listening that don't appendix carry are like, what is he talking about? He's crazy. No, I promise you, the longer barrel lengths carry better for at least my body type, and which is like
appendix carry get you killed in the streets.
It will get you killed in the streets, and for those who don't know me, my body type is like teenage girl.
Yeah, bony.
But seriously though, like length really doesn't matter. Maybe it does carrying at 4 and 5 o'clock. I never had a problem carrying back there, but once I switched, I'm just saying, I don't really.
Either or. What I found is, I knew a few people that did the 17 to 19, just a few, and then it caught on somehow with a very small group, and they do or die, and they talk about it way more than they actually do it. And then I found some people that also did the 19 to 26. Hey, good on you if you do it either way. Carry like you want to carry. You don't have to justify anything to me. But I look at this price going, that's a lot of money when I can do it cheaper with Brownells.
Yeah.
Whom I know.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I was in that camp where I was going to cut down my 17 to 19 length because it made sense. I like the longer barrel and the slightly shorter grip for carry. It totally makes sense. And like you say, you can do it better with Brownells, but you can also just buy a Glock 17 holster and put a 19 in it.
You know what I was going to say to Zane is, you probably, since you're built like a teenage girl, it means you have girly hands, which are typically smaller. Yep. So you don't use the Glock 17 frame anyway.
No, it's kind of it's funny. It's funny you say that, but I was in another group on Facebook and we were talking about things, and dudes were talking about why they can't carry a 19 because they can't get a full purchase on it, and I'm like, I got a little bitty bitch hands, dude. I can get a full purchase on a 26, bro.
I mean, I have bigger hands, and what I found was I had to use the MagPump Glock 19 mags just so I have that full grip. But so still, even when
I can get a full grip with a 26 with a MagPump. With a MagPump 26 mag, I can get a full grip on the gun. I have no problem with a 19. Smurf? I have tiny
What are you, Smurf?
Dude. I'm like old Trumpy boy, man. I got tiny little hands.
That's why I can't. That's why when people talk about Glock 19s and Glock 26, I go, yeah, okay, whatever, because anything smaller than 17, I cannot get a comfortable grip on it.
Hold on, I'm gonna find my 26 and turn my camera on. Show you.
No, I don't want to see you doing a comparison with your 26.
All we know is Zane is explaining more and more as we go along why he shoots reduced recoil loads.
So look at this. This is a Glock 26 with the lighting's terrible, with a MagPump mag. And
there you go.
Totally, Pinky is totally on it. And that is a 26. It's got the MagPump mag. So it's a little bit extended, but not much, and I can get a full grip on that. I got
that's ridiculous.
Hands. It is.
That's
ridiculous.
Dude, you got like small, tiny little baby hands.
Whatever, man.
We
had
the
size of the. Anyways, we
were having an IDP. What is it? IDPA class
Yeah.
And we had a lot of different guys come out, and it's just a fun day with different guns. And the guy brought out a Glock 26 with a Pierce Plus 2 extension, and still my pinky was like barely hanging on. But I could see why you'd cut down to 19 to that size, because that just reduced a lot of hand grip space. But to me, with the extension on it, it's still the same size as a 19 grip. So actually, you've done nothing.
And it is a 26 with an extension is the same size. And then you get into problems with reloading and stuff like that. But with me, with my tiny little hands, I can get away with a 26. I don't, so it makes sense. And the same thing with people with bigger hands. If you can get away with a 19, okay. But if you can't, there are some people who literally cannot shoot a 19 as well as they can shoot a 17 because they just have monster paws. Mm-hmm. I feel like probably Steve Fisher is one of those individuals because he's just got mitts that, and you know what? It's going to be different for every person. But like I said, for me, I can shoot a 19 just as well as I can shoot a 17.
Full-size blocks, because anything smaller, I don't feel comfortable. I can't get a comfortable grip on it, So.
I hear you. Okay. Well, we'll get off that subject now. We're going to get into this next product. And, I kind of like the first two, just because they're maybe useful.
Can I spoil it? Can I spoil it?
You can. I'm like, I'm not. It's
made by Anderson Arms, so I am done.
It's as good as a Colt.
No, it's totally just as good. In fact, it's an Anderson Arms sight. It's a red dot, and it's just as good as an aim point. You heard it here first, folks.
Okay.
Just as good.
Here you go. This is the Anderson Manufacturing Advanced Micro Dot with an MSRP of $154.18. Okay. So it's, I guess, their foray into the red dot market. Okay. I got to
Thank God they went high end.
Oh, yeah.
My God, yes.
Okay. It has a no. This thing is nothing like a Holosun. It has a removable base with a rotary knob.
Woohoo!
Let me keep going here. 2 MOA dots, so multi-coded 60 MOA adjustment. It is 1 MOA. The only good thing about this, it uses a CR 2032 battery. Yes. Okay. That
of course you like that.
Pretty much all of the things are pretty much standard. But if you look at this picture, this removable mounting base that they have is basically just a Picatinny riser, and their little red dot sight mounts on it and looks kind of funny. It's not like it uses like a T1 mount or anything like that. It's just a Picatinny riser, and their red dot mounts to it. So, okay, it looks kind of hokey that way. I don't know what these are going to come in for, not at MSRP, but to me, it just kind of seems like your regular, inexpensive red dot sight that may or may not last.
Listen, one, don't poo-poo this because it does have that rotary knob technology that's cutting edge. Also, it's from it's from a quality manufacturer like Anderson Manufacturing, and it's an advanced micro wet dot. So you pass
Jesus
by that.
Christ. I can't.
Micro wet dot.
Continue because
I think also I look at the rail and it's like a super slim Picatinny riser mount. Scholar Works has one, but it's like they put an actual design into it, and this just looks like exactly what it is. 11 brightness settings. It's waterproof to a meter for half an hour.
A whole meter?
It's still
a whole
meter. Well, no, after you realize you bought an Anderson and an Anderson optic, you'll probably try to drown yourself in 3 feet of water.
Oh.
And when they come to discover your body, this thing will not be fogged over.
Okay.
So this optic may be great. We're making jokes, but it may be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But
I don't know about
judging
that,
by Anderson's reputation, The fact that, when you buy a strip lower from them, half the time the pinholes don't line up properly and whatnot. If you got 100 and what is this retail for? 115?
54.
154.18.
So you can get a Vortex or a Holosun for that money and know you're getting decent quality.
Exactly.
You're still not getting an aim point for that money. You're not getting but you can get I literally bought my Vortex Crossfire for $150 and it's been bouncing around in a truck off-road for 6 months and it's still holding 0.
And that's the thing, is at least for that price, you can get something that is at least quality. Yeah, like you said,
if they were like,
it's not
hey,
an
it's
aim
30
point.
bucks. I mean, if they were like, hey, it's $30, I was like,
even if
all right, I'll try it.
Even if MSRP was like $89.95 or whatever,
like
you'd be like,
Bushnell over this.
Well,
all right,
right, but then you'd be able to get it for $50, and you'd be like, I might try it, But
here's the thing: the MSRP is too high for someone that has not established himself as someone that puts out higher quality or even middle of the road products. Like, all of your stuff is entry level. This is not an entry level optics price for someone that has no track record.
Right.
People that want entry level price optics, they're the ones that are buying those $30. Maybe Tapco makes them. I don't know. Whatever those little red dots are that people put
even the like $50 Bushnell ones.
Yeah.
But
the TRS 25 has a reputation, and it'll hold up. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to take the beating that a Holosun would, more than likely. But I have one of each. Actually, I have 2 Holosuns and 2 TRS 25s, and I'm seeing which one I break first right now. This thing, they don't have a track record, and they're asking for $154.18. Could you please explain that?
And that's the same thing I'm doing, like you say, with this Vortex I got. Like, it's not a cheap optic, but I paid $150 for it. And like I said, I've been putting it in the back of my truck and bouncing it around dirt roads. Like, and not just dirt roads, like terrible roads. Just to try to throw it off 0 and just to see what it'll do. But Vortex does have a reputation of being a decent entry-level optic.
Right.
And by the way,
I will never tell you they're just as good as an aim point or a Trijicon. I'll never say that. When it comes to the red dots, some of their
hey guys, okay. I'll quit pooping on it for a while because it hasn't done anything to me, and we don't know what it does. So I'll go ahead and go. It has everything that you think it needs. The MSRP is a little high. They didn't do a great job of writing it up, but it's not overblown like a bunch of write-ups are on a manufacturer's page. But there's no warranty whatsoever on this either.
Yeah, it's a hard
that I'm
pass.
seeing.
It's a hard pass.
Yeah. I'm like, everything here is what you'd find on pretty much anything else in that price point, but not the warranty, not the name, not the track record. Why would I give this money to Anderson when I have other companies I can give the money to? Drop the MSRP by $50 and have a street price around $70 to $80, and I can understand someone stepping in and going, hey, I already own an Anderson rifle. I'll get the Anderson red dots since I'm already on their page.
And their Anderson rifle runs flawlessly because they have 37 rounds through it, and it never malfunctioned once.
Well, I do like the reviews I get that I just got it home and took it out the box, and it's perfect 5 stars.
Yeah. Or you could go the other way too and say I've got 178,000 rounds through it and have never cleaned it once and never had a single malfunction. I've seen both of those on the interwebs.
Mm-hmm. That's where you learn to read reviews.
I need to start writing those kind of reviews. It'll save me a lot of time.
Dude, I swear to God, people are stupid.
Yeah. No, they're not stupid. They just think you are.
Yeah.
They think you are. Yeah, I shot 100,000 rounds through it, and I haven't cleaned it yet. DI guns are awesome. Yeah, so hard pass on this right now until they drop the MSRP. Maybe they want to try to offer a warranty on it and do some better photos. Seriously.
But
it looks horrible.
If they want to send one to Tony at the 2A4E diversity shoot, I'm sure he'd put it on something and give it a good tryout.
Hey, I will use your product. Again, I just don't know anything about it. They could have done a better job writing it up. The MSRP is ridiculous at $154.18. It's just dumb. That's just a dumb price.
That is a dumb price.
So, listen, guys, send it to me. Chad has my address.
That's right. I'll give it out to anybody, especially if they're sending A2 grips.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I was cleaning up around here. Oh, I hate you all. I'll tell you about it when I have my chance. Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? You know, because I'm always complaining about feedback, we have some listener feedback. And this is from iTunes. Let's see. I think Zane should read these because, well, he's not doing anything, but I don't know what he's doing. You going to read these to us, Zane?
Yeah. I'm screwing around with my internet.
Yeah, you're like crazy. Why don't you?
Can you guys hear me?
Like 5 times.
Yeah, it sounds like you're calling the game at a high school football game.
Yeah.
All right, how's that? Any better?
All right, yeah, better.
Yeah.
All right, we doing good now?
You're good.
I don't understand why I'm echoing. Yeah, I can read these. Sure.
Because
I don't like the first one though. I don't like the first one.
Well, you know, we're gonna be like other shows on the network, and we're gonna have to name this Zane hates feedback or something.
All right.
Zane hates feedback.
All right. Is there any feedback now? It should be gone. All the feedback.
It's good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Beautiful. So we have some listener feedback, and I'm going to read it to you just as soon as I can, find it on this ridiculous thing. Listen, it's been a rough night. So, pull it down here.
I quit listening to this show half an hour ago.
Yeah. Excellent podcast. 5 stars by Richer Than You, which really isn't hard considering, those of us from the panel.
If this person has like $2 in their wallet, they're probably richer than all 3 of us.
Yeah. Like if you did not eat ramen noodles for lunch, you're probably richer than us. Except maybe Rob. He's got like NFA money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's got the full auto Mac 10?
Hey, that was when I had NFA money before kids.
That's before he had teenagers.
And that was when that stuff was cheap.
Anyway, so Richer Than You says, as a student at a university, how is he richer than us? Anyways, as a student at a university, I have long stints of doing homework in the library and such. Been an avid listener for a while and love to hear about the new things coming out in the industry, whether good or bad. I listen to podcasts more and more due to passive learning aspects while doing stuff like working out. I work at a gun store at home. That's a weird sentence.
Yeah, I get it, but yeah.
Yeah, weird sentence. It is a proper sentence, though. The second best way to learn about what's going on in the gun world instead of working at a gun store is to listen to the Firearms Radio Network. Thanks for all the information you are giving out. Even Zane, he puts in parentheses. Keep up the good work. Only reason I'm writing because I'm sick of hearing that you don't have any listener feedback every week. Funny. Apparently our begging has worked.
And the weird thing is if he listens to the Firearms Radio Network, he knows that all the shows.
Oh, we're always begging.
We all have asked for feedback. So, hey,
begging works. Begging works for feedback. Begging works for donations, and begging worked on prom night.
Wait, what?
What?
No,
TMI.
Good on you. Good on you, Richer Than You. I mean, keep going to school, keep doing your thing, and keep working at that gun store. But don't be that guy at the gun store.
And thanks for listening. Don't forget that part.
Oh yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Oh, am I going to do the next one too?
Sure.
All right. I should get my own theme song, like Jeremy has over
You're
at
gonna
We
have
Like
to-
Shooting.
You're going to have to make your own theme song.
I will.
We'll make it the My Pretty Pony theme
Do
song.
not tempt me with a good time.
Oh, great!
Don't
Now
have
we
a
have to listen
mixer.
to some speed metal theme
And
song.
I don't
from
have a
this.
mixer to add it in, so it'll never get added in.
I have a mixer over here, but it's, Anyways, great show for the Gun Nuts. 5 stars by Running Wolf. What is
Texas.
that? Texas.
TX.
Running Wolf, Texas. Yeah, Texas. The great state of Texas. I love hearing all the
America.
different opinions. It really sounds like they are having. Okay, I read some stuff that ain't even on the page there. Let me start over. I love hearing all the different opinions. It really sounds like they have.
I got a conversation.
Okay, so I'm not the crazy one.
Talking over each other.
No,
Listen,
that's how it is.
Listen, all right. So your grammar is almost as bad as mine, but I'm going to make it work. It really sounds like they are having a good conversation and not staged, since they're always talking over one another. Yeah, we do that, and that's because my internet sucks, and Tony's internet half the time sucks, and Rob doesn't know how to internet. So
What's the internet?
Okay, now before we get going here, there's actually a little bit more feedback. Somebody sent us mail, but here it's
like
mainly
snail mail or Gmail.
Gmail. It's mainly about Zane, but that's okay.
Is it?
Actually, it's from Rusty O. I won't say his last name because I don't know.
I like that guy.
Do you know
Rusty.
who he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who that guy is.
It says, I really enjoyed the review of Zane's Stinger handguard. It's here. See more. I going to look at purchasing this product. I think there's an I'm in there. It is nice to see him evolve as a gun person to start carrying a revolver and possibly liking the 22s. Keep up the good, guys. There's your feedback that I didn't put in the show notes.
So Rusty sent me a message a while back, and I don't know Rusty personally.
Right.
He sent me a message a while back concerning either his daughter or daughter-in-law, one or the other, was moving to Florida and wanting to get some firearms training, and I got him in touch with some instructors in the area that they were moving to, and
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
if you're a listener and you want to reach out, like I'll talk to you. Like it's cool. Like
I think
really
readings.
not special.
I think readings from Florida guy should be anytime we have feedback. It's readings from Florida guy, and we have Zane stumble through it because it's
right. I don't read so good.
By the end of the show, he's good and drunk.
even if Zane isn't here to do it, Rob can do it, and it's still readings from Florida man.
Still Florida man.
That's right. So Tony, it's all you now.
Woohoo! All right, check it out. Did some house cleaning over here, getting stuff together because I got yelled at, and I stumbled across A2 pistol grips and an A2 pistol grip and another A2 pistol grip. And of course, while you're cleaning up, if you're married, your wife has to come in and tell you how to do it, where to do it, and when to do it. And she's like, "What are these things, and why do you have so many of them?" And I went, "Because gun people are a-holes."
Tony, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
So I just had an epiphany here. Is saying if you don't like the way I'm doing it your damn self the wrong answer?
No, it's not the wrong answer. Understand though, when you say that, you better be ready to pay full price.
Huh.
Maybe
Maybe that's why I can't get a woman to stick around. I don't know.
Hey, man, listen. Do you? I'm not giving relationship advice. What I am going to talk about is the Second is for Everyone, which is coming up in a month's time at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. This time, I'm going to bring the 357 and the Henry Big Boy Steel 357 lever action. Introduce some people into that. Mainly because, well, it's Jersey legal for now, and I don't have to worry about anything. And I just want people to see something really cool, and a really cool alternative to ARs and semi-automatic pistols are out there. You can own something that you might not have to worry about for 10 or 15 years in Jersey. But what I really like doing is introducing people to different firearms that have never touched one, have never thought about it. Also introduce them to Second Amendment advocacy groups, which many gun owners, no matter what state they're in, don't join. So I'm going to have them there. I'm going to have the NRA ILA at the next diversity shoot. We're going to have some cool drawings. We're going to have some cool raffles, food, drinks, and going to have a lot of fun. So if you can come out, come out. Join our Facebook page. Second is for everyone. You can also go and check us out on Instagram at Simon Says Train. If you want to buy a ticket, get busy. We only have 40 tickets available, and we've sold quite a few of them. So please get online now, buy a ticket, Eventbrite. If you want to help us out, you can donate. GoFundMe. Our T-shirt sales are back up, and yes, the $25 T-shirts are on sale. We get a part of that. Go to 1022clothing.us and you can pick up a shirt that will help us. Right now, I'm going next week to the NRA Carry Guard in Virginia, and I really need funding to help pay for what we're doing. Again, it comes out of pocket. So if you guys can help us out, great. Donate to the diversity shoot at the Second is for Everyone on GoFundMe. Let me see, GoFundMe. Oh, listen to our show, the 2A4E podcast, if you can. And if you want to be a patron, you can donate to our Patreon. The Second is for Everyone, 2A4E. We have some cool stuff at different levels, and we're bringing out more and more stuff. So the more listeners we have, the more patrons we have, the cooler stuff you guys can win. We're putting it together now. So really appreciate it, guys. As always, thanks for having me on the show. Thank you guys out there for listening to us. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the feedback you send to us. Thanks.
And now Tony's begging for feedback.
Yep.
So send questions, comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, because I guess we're begging for it again.
No, we are. And you should totally watch the show live, because you wear
the great
tinfoil
thing is,
hats and stuff.
what the people that say we're begging for feedback, at least they listen to the end. We know they listen to the end, so that's a plus.
True.
Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Firearms Insider. Follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. And thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia. Maybe I should do better. Bye, Felicia.
Now,